I'm back. Wait, hold on, I'm not back. Hold on, y'all. Watch this intro one more time. Let's get it. We did it again. We did it again. We have done it again. Okay? This is the Black Files episode 20. Get my Black Files music going real quick for y'all. Okay? And this is episode 20. Now you're probably wondering, you know what I mean, where is she? Right? She gotta be somewhere around here, right? She gotta be somewhere lurking around here. So, I just can't just bring her in. I have to introduce her first. So let me play her intro. Let me cue that up real quick. Her intro. Let's get it. Let's get it.
The lords of Westeros are sheep. Are you a sheep? No. You're a dragon. Be a dragon.
Oh damn! Oh my gosh! Oh 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 oh!
Yay!
oh
The
wait!
dragon is here.
Oh my gosh! Oh man! Oh man! Damn! Yes!
Shout out to everybody. How are you doing?
Hey, look. She wants to be known as the dragon, all right? You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? She got a little intro for herself. You feel what I'm saying? Let me take a quick pause before we get into this. You know what I mean? Number one, y'all already know the link is in the chat and it is pinned as always. You can always come up, share your views and opinions. You already know how to get down, man. Just be respectful to me, you know what I mean, to Lola, and you're good. And to everybody on the panel. If you're disrespectful on the panel in the chat, the block button is very easy for me to use. I will kick you out. I will ban you. You know what I mean? I don't do timeouts. I ain't got time for that shit. You do something stupid, you're getting banned. It's a wrap. And that's just what it is. Now, let's move on. Salute to my man Hunter Watts. Watts was good, baby. Good to see you in the building. Salute to the homie CCD. You know what I mean? Yes, definitely. Big up to the show panel. It's all gonna be fire before it starts. Oh, you already know that. The dragon is here. It's definitely gonna be some fire. You know that. Salute to our music curator. You know what I mean? Von Eric. Von Eric, what's going on? Blessings to you as well. There are no longer conspiracies, just truth slow to come to light. Well, we're going to tackle a lot of different things that may be conspiracies and may be truth, okay? So I got a number of topics for us, okay? I have a curriculum for you guys, okay? Get your books ready, all right? Put your thinking caps on, all right? You may have to grab a cover because you might be a little scared, okay? And that's okay. This is what the Black Files is, all right? We want to get you to really feel away and think away. And we are on episode 20. Okay, this is a monumental episode, so we really gonna go in. All right, this is gonna be a little different. You know what I mean? So it's gonna get. We're gonna cover some real critical thinking stuff, man. We're gonna really challenge the norm, and we're gonna really ask some questions, right? That are really gonna spark your mind. So as always, I hope y'all ready. You know what I mean? I hope that you are, you know what I mean, you're buckled up and you're ready to go. But let me stop rambling. And let me get to my business partner. You know what I mean? She's her own boss. Let me get to Miss Oshun, aka Lola. What's going on?
Hey, okay. I didn't know if my mic was working. I, I'm over here trying to switch computers because you know how my phone be sometimes. But I'm doing okay. I'm ready for today because, as you know, I don't know what you fitting to throw at me. But you're wrong. I'm okay. I'm ready. But hold on, let me see something real quick because I want to make sure I got my StreamYard thing up. Hold on
Okay.
one sec.
Okay. I know you pulling some stuff up. Are you pulling stuff up? I'm pulling stuff up too. You know what I'm saying? We both are pulling. And yes, I did not tell you what I got in store for today. Okay? Did it on purpose. Did this on purpose because I've been seeing the dialogue we've been having has been sparking some very, very compelling conversations. All right. And the thing is, because our show is so controversial that we would get turned off at any moment. You know what I'm saying? I can't tell anybody anymore because as you see, as I'm doing the show, we get to about a 2 hour mark, 3 hour mark, and it just shut me down. The whole show was completely shut down. And listen, this is not in my control. Y'all keep thinking that it's me. I've got text messages saying that it's me. I'm not turning the show off. All right? They are turning it off. When it gets too real, that intro comes in and it turned me off. I don't have control over this. Please understand this. Okay? You people gotta believe me. It's not me. All right? Salute to the homie Big Rig Slaps. What's going on, Big Rig? You know, salute to Crystal Rebel. He said, "What's up, Mr. Best? What's up, Lola?" I'm mad at Tony right now. Cost of the game. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry your game's getting cost right now. My back family. You know what I mean? Hopefully somebody can come back and win. You know what I mean? And they can get it going. You know what I mean? Hopefully you ain't lose no money on this, brother. You know what I mean? Hopefully you didn't lose any paper on this, okay? Because that would be sad. I would hate for you to lose some paper. Never want to see nobody lose paper. Only want to see them make paper. Always remember that. Who up in here? Okay. Lola, that's you? Okay, there she go. There she go. There she go.
Yes, it is me. Can you hear me? I don't know what my computer's coming through.
Yeah, I can hear you. She got an army shirt on too. She ready for war today. She ready for war.
Listen, no, that's coincidence. Okay, that's coincidence.
He's out building up the Bills versus have a number. Okay. Well, listen, you and Miss O'Shea was debating in our business chat about football. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you know what I mean?
Wait, no, I was trolling. Y'all stop. I was trolling. What's wrong?
You know, he's really taking it to heart. He really wants his team to win. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, let me switch gears for a second. I gotta switch gears for a second.
Oh wow, okay. Oh, I was going to say, did you let me up here to
I'm here. I'm right here. Now listen. Okay. I hope you people are ready, man. I'm about to get into this. All right. Let me drop this first video. Okay. Like I said, Miss Oshun does not know what I mean, what's coming. All right. I will say this though. Be ready because we about to really get into some stuff right now. All right. Okay, hold on. Let me make sure I'm clicking the right link. Salute to everybody, man, who pulled up. I really appreciate y'all pulling up. And y'all been really being supportive this whole week. Thank y'all, man. I really appreciate y'all. Let me throw up this fair use banner so y'all can't say anything. She's still mad because Mahomes got them in the Super Bowl. Hey, look, Mahomes is that dude. I think it's the Mahomes era. You feel what I'm saying? Rick said football or football. Hey, maybe a little bit both. I used to watch rugby back in the day, but that's another discussion for another day. Sports show will continue at a later time, y'all. We will do that at a later time. Right now, it's the Black Files. You know what I mean? She gave him the LOL to Chris. Let me get to my fair use banner. Oh, there you go. Boom. There go the fair use banner. You know what I'm saying? Who else just popped in? He said, I'm talking Ish Pippin. I know y'all talking about football. Salute to you, Chris. Okay. Hey, some people watch a little bit of both. You feel me? But let's get into this first one. Ooh, what is this first one I got right here? What is this? I don't even know what I'm about to pull up. That's the crazy part about it. I don't even know the shit I'm about to pull up right now. Okay. Ooh. Oh, this one good. You're going to like this one. Now, we kind of covered this topic a little bit, right? But we didn't cover it to this effect. So there's a theory that we're about to get into that y'all have heard of. I would even say it's a movie. Yeah, get your pen ready. You know what I mean? Your paper. There was a movie that was based on this. And it was a very good movie, by the way, too. Salute to the people that was in this movie. I'm not going to say who. Because I don't want y'all to know what the movie was. All right? Now, let me pull this up so y'all can see it. Okay? Very popular movie, by the way. It kind of, I don't think it did too good in the theaters, but I think once it came out, like on DVD and all that, it started like blowing up and shit. You know what I mean? So, but let's get into it, man. And salute to the homie that provided this video, Woke Dev. Thank you, homie. I appreciate you. All right, let's get into it.
Effect can change life and get you anything you want. And watch to the very end and learn exactly how to use it. The butterfly effect is knowing that small choices can change the future. Even something as small as a butterfly flapping its wings. This is also known as the law of cause and effect. Every decision you ever made has affected the future and brought you to this moment. And that's why the butterfly effect is so powerful. Because making the wrong decision can lead to a bad future. Now, there is a way to make the butterfly effect work in your favor, and that's by consciously making decisions that'll give you the best outcome in life. The power of imagination allows you to think ahead before making decisions, and imagination fuels your manifestation. So when you start making conscious choices, life will stop happening to you and start happening for you. Leave a like to affirm your positive future, and follow me so you don't miss any more guidance. Y'all stay conscious. This is how the butterfly effect can change your life.
Okay. Okay. All right. We did cover this.
Listen, hold on. We talked about this in depth a little bit. And I told you. I said maybe you are factoring in the choices that you're making based on your experiences and what you believe, right? And I've told you this on more than one occasion, on more than one thing, right? I've told you this about, when we talked about YouTube stuff, career, relationships, everything. I've told you this, right? I've told you this. You know what I'm saying? So when Woke Dev was speaking, he was speaking on something that can actually be manifested. I believe that it can be. And salute to Smitty. Now, I see you in the building. What's going on? So this butterfly effect this brother's talking about is not off, okay? I believe he's onto something, and I believe the things that we want, we can either manifest it or we can cause the things not to happen based on our character, our choices, and our decisions. You know what I mean? I know you believe something else, kind of. You know what I mean? You believe kind of in people's nature and stuff like that. I'm not disagreeing with you. I do believe human nature does play a part in everything, right? In some retrospect. But I believe, like in everything and like anything, times can change, nature can change, right? Technology has changed, right? I know you don't fully believe that, but I'm telling you that you can manifest a different nature if you wanted to. If you really wanted to. Some things you can't help, I get it, right? Some things you can't help. Some things are gonna naturally just come to you. But I do believe that you can manifest the correct nature. And I'm gonna let you go from there.
Yeah, no, you wanted to go first. I get that. Yeah, you wanted to get that in there.
Don't you say that. No, don't you say that. The video spoke for me, but I had to speak for the video as well. Go ahead.
Okay, so I agree and disagree with him. Okay, so the butterfly effect is a real thing, right? It is. Because you have this you have the laws of entropy and you have different laws that govern essentially time space. Okay. However, the issue that I have with what he's saying, which I'll speak to first versus where I agree, is that he's I'm gonna use this term and I don't mean no harm, but he's convoluting manifesting and destiny, right? These are two separate things. You see what I'm saying? Like, they're just separate things. They work together, but they're two separate things. And I think what's wrong with the idea of people listening to manifestation like videos, is that people think that because they think wishful thoughts, that this is how the universe works, right? Like, because you think wishful thoughts, that's not how the universe works. You see what I'm saying? Like manifesting by, making the right decisions. It's like, that's not manifesting. Like everything we have up until this minute, we have consciously worked towards. We didn't quote think about it and then, sit there and wish. That's not how we got here. Okay, I tell you that right now. Like there was no wishing involved in terms of everything I got. Okay, it was conscious effort. Okay, as in the physical. So I get where he's coming from when it comes to the butterfly effect, but when it comes to where I think he's grossly wrong is where he's convoluting that concept with other concepts that are unrelated, but sounds good being put together. Now, here's where I agree with him, and probably disagree a little bit more. All right, so the butterfly effect is just
you cannot do that. You cannot say you agree.
I know. But give me a second.
You riding on the train with us, or you not? What are you doing?
No, I'm on the back, and I can get off and slide, and hang and stuff.
Oh wow. Okay, you think you won?
What I'm saying is the butterfly effect. Okay, every decision you make does affect the future. And I mean the future for all people. It's not just your future, it's everything. And like okay, my decision to get on the stream at the time I got on the stream affected the entire world, but we don't see it. You see what I'm saying? Just the time that I decided to click, jump on. Hey, Smitty. And so now that affects everything else. If I wouldn't have jumped on at this time, and I would have jumped on, let's say, 5 minutes after we started, right? That would have affected the world in a whole different way. And I've essentially everything everyone does affects everyone. So remember in the movie, The Butterfly Effect, no matter what decisions they made, it drastically affected everyone else, not just themselves, not just their own experience of the world. So this is why I'm saying that his idea of the butterfly effect and wishful thinking or manifesting, these are not the same concepts to be kind of blended together. That it's really not. Now I will say when it comes to the butterfly effect, this is my belief. I don't have empirical data on this, but this is just my belief. There's certain what I want to say check marks that is destined for you to go through, right? It's just certain things you're destined to go through just because of when you came into the world, why you came into the world, who you came through. These are things that you're destined to go through. However, every decision that you make slightly alters the timeline. Just every single thing you do, every single thing other people do and don't do slightly alters the timeline. However, there's certain like benchmarks you must pass no matter what decision you make, which is where the movie got it right. So even though a lot of things were different with every decision that he made, there were certain things that were completely the same. You see what I'm saying? Like very much the same. No matter in what form you want to think about it, but it was the same. Like whether or not, no matter what decision he made, the girl he liked ended up with his friend. Whether or not they got married, whether or not she was a hooker, whether or not they didn't know each other and found each other on a boat somewhere in the middle of the islands. Like, it doesn't matter what decision he made, that benchmark of him not getting the girl is what he had to go through. Now, it might look different, which in every decision he made in terms of like the timeline, because the movie allowed us to see time in different, settings or whatever. That's like a God view or whatever. This is what I believe is actually happening, because when we say, for instance, something is the will of God, right? That's true and not true at the same time. Okay.
Well, hold on. Why you want to bring God up in this, huh? Why you want to bring God up in this, huh? You always tell people don't bring any religion up in here.
No, I'm not bringing religion. This is not any particular religion. This is God, okay? Whatever God you worship,
No, you can't. No. Why you keep doing this? Look, she like, I don't want to ride on the bike, but I want the bike to go by and I'll somehow get on it. No, are you on the bike or are you off the bike? You can't do it.
This is not religion. I'm telling you, it's not religion. What I'm saying is, the thing is, right, you're not telling yourself go through hardship. That's not what you're doing. You're not choosing hardship. Life is happening to you, and when you look back on it, you realize, oh man, that's why I went through that, because it prepared me for this right here. And if I wouldn't have went through that for those amount of years, I wouldn't have understood where I'm at today, and so on and so forth. You can only understand the butterfly effect in that way, looking back in time, not looking forward. So this is where I think the guy that was talking, where he gets it right, but at the same time, he gets it wrong because he's trying to, let's say, make people feel good about the butterfly effect, when in reality, the butterfly effect, most people would be scared about that. It would scare you if you don't understand time space. But, you know, in reality, be neutral, but it's not something to be happy about. Like, oh my God, I get to manifest stuff in my life. No, that's not how it works. Because as much as people want to say, manifest and change your timeline, that's not what you're actually doing. You understand? Like, you're not thinking your way into anything. In reality, how your inner world actually feels is what you manifest. So for instance, like, I know in my life, I've had inner fears, right? That has made it where, so everything I feared is the only thing I experienced. And I never uttered this fear to no one. I never said, oh my God, I wish that happens. It was just something that I just had an inner fear for, but it always found its way in my life through every single person and the circumstance I found myself in. So it wasn't that I was being wishful to get that, but my inner world was calling for that energy to be present, because that's what's present within me. So you are manifesting whether you like it or not. So that's not something that you have to actually do. Like, that is going to happen regardless. So this is why I say he is correct. That
Baltimore Dew. I don't want to hear that, okay? I want to hear that Baltimore Dew. I don't want to hear that, all right? Listen, you cannot.
Let me finish. This is why I'm saying he's correct that manifestation is a real thing, but he's not correct in terms of how manifestation happens, let alone how that relates to the butterfly effect when it comes to time itself and space, in a sense, but mostly time. Like, he's right and he's wrong. I think that I can say that and prove that. I stand on that, okay? As they say, I'm standing on business. Am I not standing on business, Smitty? Tell him.
You're saying it wrong. You're saying I stand on business. That's like I said, I stand on business. You can't pronounce the word completely. All right, you got to take a little bit off of it and put a little bit on. Stand on business. My God. All right, listen. Salute to the Harris family. Now listen, Smitty, you are up here. All right, listen, Smitty. Look. I need your opinion, okay? I don't want you saying Lola is right. If you say that tonight, we out of here. I'm gonna have to drop the outro. We going. I'm gonna play some 2K. I'm out of here. I'm joking. Smitty, what's going on, man? Tell us your experience. Salute to my man, 100 watts. Glad you checked in. Also salute to Ruby Doll. Ruby, thank you for checking in. So, Smitty, what's going on, man? Good to see you, brother. Thank you for sending me that them banging beats, man. I listen to that. You know what I'm saying? You were doing your thing back in the day. But yeah, holla at me, man. What you think about this?
Yeah. So what are we talking about? The butterfly effect, right?
Well, no, okay. So we are talking about the butterfly effect, but
give me a synopsis now.
The guy in the video expressed that the butterfly effect is basically where it's a concept where every single thing you do, decision you make, it affects your timeline. But he says because of that, you can manifest whatever you want. And he went into, being successful, and I disagree with that because there's certain things that you have to go, you're destined to go through. But it's like you're not destined to make any specific decision, but you are destined to meet certain fates. So therefore, the butterfly effect does not work in exactly the same way that he's explaining it, let alone putting those two ideas together. And that's where I disagreed with him, even though, I can agree the butterfly effect is a real thing. However, look at the way he
he set that up. I'm saying the butterfly effect is everything you do and don't do affects the entire world, affects the universe, in fact, not just your life. Like it's that's not what that is. So this whole manifesting stuff, I don't know why he's putting that together with that concept, but I mean, that's what he's doing.
Well, okay. Nah, thank you for that. I appreciate you, sister. All right, so look, right? My view, as well as from the little bit of research I have.
Mhm.
When it comes to manifesting anything, the only thing that you can manifest is what you write down to plan. Because the fact is, we can plan to do anything, but at any moment, instantly, as what we would call it in layman's term, life happens, all your shit can be derailed.
Mhm.
So, and to the point of which what you're speaking, when it comes to like actually, like basically what that's saying is a complete contradiction to everything that you just said you believe in the first place.
Mhm.
Because if that was the case, then I believe that many of us would be on some damn near alchemy type shit, and we would go ahead, like real talk, like we'd be putting our hand in the sand and shit, and we'd be trying to figure out how to, manifest all of these things.
Mhm.
What we do every single day really is a guided step. Now, the only reason why it would be a guided step is if you're somebody who truly is one who believes. Now, this is where that paradox comes in.
Mhm.
Those who believe, they move and they walk in a certain direction based on what we all call faith. So that's what a lot of people will call the straight path, the narrow road, right? Those who believe in that manifestation of everything in your life, those are the ones who basically kind of freestyle it. And so what happens is a lot of thoughts, a lot of ideologies come into your mind, and then these are the people who wound up actually disrupting their future by simply not staying on course. That is the only way to disrupt your future, is when you get off course. You manifesting something and you making some magical thing happen. No, what you did was you just simply followed through. And the part that comes into play that's very, very touchy to speak on, to be honest with you, is why for some people it happens and why for some it don't. That's the touchy part. Because see, he could say that and everything can work just fine for him. Now imagine the people that listen to what he's saying and it doesn't work for them. But then there's those who would do. Is he legit in what he's talking about, or is he a fraud? See, that's what happens when you try to make the trajectory of someone's existence something that's put in a box. You can't do that shit. This is something that truly is. Each and every one of us are our own, if you want to say, like starlight. And no star was born the same way. Mm-hmm. Just like no human has the same fingerprint, not even identical twins. Mm-hmm. So how you think that in some form of fashion that you can give a narration on what possibly these things consist of? It's going to vary from person to person, but I digress. My mic is muted. Rock out, Lolo.
Okay, so you said that, and that's a lot.
My bad.
That's a lot, but I had to write down what you were saying so I could parcel it out. Okay, so you're saying that there's some people that walk in belief, and then there's some people that don't, and you have one group of people that are freestyling it, and one group of people that are being, let's say, on purpose, right, with their manifesting, right? So, okay, now here's the thing, right? I can agree with you, with your point that no one's actually manifesting anything. happening. That's not what's actually happening. It just looks that way because you don't understand the greater, let's say, the greater point of it all, right? Whereas you're like, for instance, if I'm trying to manifest the house I live in, right, and I live in an apartment, there's certain things I'm already slated to go through in my house. Now, I don't know that, but I'm trying to manifest a house because I have this inner longing to do what I'm already supposed to do. So I'm quote unquote walking in that path, as you said, to get to that point. However, that point was something that was already in front of me, meaning it's manifest destiny. To manifest something means to show proof that something is. Right? And destiny is the point you're supposed to go to before you show the physical proof. So manifest destiny is essentially, there has to be something already set for you to get to before you get there in time for it to be manifest destiny or manifestation in general. So I can agree with you on that front. Now, I don't know if I can agree or disagree with the people who are quote unquote freestyling, right? Because I do believe on some level they are supposed to be that way. There's certain things, there's certain cycles that they're supposed to cycle through before they get to a certain point. And I do believe in reincarnation. I do believe that reincarnation isn't like what we might understand it to be, like how we've understood ancestral reincarnation within like the Black community or the Africanoid community. But I do believe that it is a real thing. However, with that being the case, there's certain lifetimes, and this is now my opinion, where you're gonna cycle through things and feel like you're getting nowhere. But this is the point of it all. Until you learn your lesson, you're not gonna cycle up or down. That's how reality works. Like until you learn, you don't move forward. You can keep going in a cycle of insanity. Life moves in one circle, but trust me, you're just gonna keep in that same circle until you learn. So there are some people that quote unquote try to manifest, right, and do certain things and it not work out because the truth is they haven't learned certain lessons in life that has them stuck in that way. And that happens even with people where it does work out, like for what they want. Like I don't know if you've had periods in your life where you were going through the same cycle. No matter what decision you made, you went through the same cycle again. So this is why I disagree with the guy on the video, because he's saying if you make deliberate decisions, it'll take you through a different path. And I'm saying no. Sometimes you can make a deliberate, separate like decision in something, right, and still end up at the same point, because that's not the lesson. The lesson is not make a different decision. That's not the lesson. Sometimes the lesson is on a higher plane than that. So I get where he's coming from. I'm not saying that he's delusional, but I am saying that that idea is not quite correct the way he's presenting it.
Yeah. No, you're on point, because I actually went through that really, really weird cycle. Mm-hmm. I deliberately said to myself, okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to walk in a different light. I'm going to change my path. But the thing is that everything that we go through has a message behind it. And like how you were saying, if you don't go ahead and if you move in a direction that is not that is not geared towards the purpose and the lesson in which you are supposed to learn from that, you will keep repeating the cycle. And that is what some would even call a limbo on earth. You know, it's like a slight form of limbo in a sense. Mm-hmm. Let me tell you like this. When I was going through what I was going through, as far as like when I was in the streets, I went on ahead. I said, I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to change everything I'm doing. I went on ahead. I started to try to go back to 9-to-5 working, things of that nature. I was doing all these things. What happened was I kept on wounding up back in jail until I wound up going to prison. It was only until about maybe the 4th year that I was in there that I was thinking to myself, hold on, wait a minute. What was the reason in which I was trying to change what I was trying to change?
Right.
If you are going to change something for the purpose or the reason in which it's not geared or built around, you will, I promise you, fail every single time. You won't be able to recognize why these things are happening. You're not even going to be able to really gauge or gear why, you know what I'm saying, you're going through this, like, I guess you can say hamster wheel of like this cycle. I got up out that cycle not from changing my actions. I changed my headspace. Once I changed my headspace, I ain't gonna lie, shit just kind of fell into motion. And then it went from there because I was trying to change it with the wrong tools. I was changing it in the wrong perspective. So once I got focused on that, man, it ain't been nothing but a flowing, running river ever since. Right. I digress. My mic is muted. Rock out.
But you see, and you know what I liken it to? I liken it to being in a room, right? And you have like 1,000 doors, right? And you're only supposed to walk through one to get to the next room, but you have 1,000 doors. Now, each door you go into, that's not the right door, it's going to cycle you back into that same room. Now, the only way you're going to get through the door is through the right door, right? So if the other doors look more appealing to you, you're just going to come back to the same room. So in your case, you didn't need to change anything, a physical decision. You just needed to change your inner being, your inner world. That's it. You see what I'm saying? Now, most people would say, is that technically a decision? In a sense, yes. But in a sense, no. It's not a physical act that you're changing in terms of the butterfly effect. That's not what that is. So this is what I'm saying. I think when people watch movies about such highly complex concepts and they want to sum it down to something that the common man can understand, it's like the reason why the occult exists is for people not to have access to it, that don't need access to it. Like everybody doesn't need to understand, ritual. You see what I'm saying? And rites and stuff like that. Everybody don't need to understand. You can live your whole life and don't need to do one ritual. It's not for everybody to be doing, because when you introduce certain things to certain populations that it's not supposed to be in front of, you do more harm than good. And right now with this manifesting thing, you got people out here thinking that they can manifest $1 million homes. Meanwhile, they're not manifesting any type of job security. They're not manifesting any type of ideas. Like I always tell people, if you're going to do any type of manifestation or ritual, right, don't do rituals for the actual thing you want, like the physical thing you want. Do it for what you need to get to that thing. You see what I'm saying? Don't, like when you pray, don't pray for a house. Pray for everything you need to have that house. Because buying a house is easy. If I drop $2 million in your account right now, which I did last week, okay, on somebody, you can go buy a $1 million house. That is, or online, don't even need to go in the house. That is the easiest thing for you to do. But what's not easy is to gather all the things it takes to have that kind of income to suffice $1 million house. Do you think you just gonna buy the house and it doesn't take a certain amount of money to maintain that house? Like seriously. And if you get the house, do you need $1 million house for you and just yourself? Like, what are we doing here? Like, who are you leaving the house to? Will it go back on the market as soon as something happens to you? Like, what happens? So this is why I I can talk about certain things, right? Like me and Mr. Best, we talk about time a lot. Like we go in offline, that is. We go into conversations about the observation of time and what time is and how it happens. And we be in some shit. But the thing is, the reason why we talk about that so much is because there's other things that we're also researching and understanding and understanding that gives us license to talk about that. So in this case, what license do you have to talk about the butterfly effect? Again, what license do you have if you want to, let's say, connect it or tie it to people getting good jobs? Really?
See, the thing is, we also have to remember, where does the butterfly effect come from? at the end of it all, it really is still it's a theory,
Mm-hmm.
right? What was the guy's name?
What do you look like?
Edward Lawrence.
I've heard the name, but I'm not familiar with his work.
No, he's the person who theorized the butterfly effect, just like Newton's law.
Okay.
So we have to remember that this is a theory that is something that has not quite been, I guess you can say, scientifically proven. Right?
It's hard to scientifically prove.
Yeah, because it's too individualized. It's not something that operates the same way for every, like, it's almost like, no matter how similar they look, believe it or not, no zebra has the same stripe pattern.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow or another, every single zebra stripe pattern is different.
Right.
So it's kind of hard to say what exactly a zebra stripe pattern is if they all are different.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how much it looks exactly the exact same to the naked eye. No. Up close, when you do the visuals and when you scan the whole thing, every pattern is different.
Right.
And so, you can't like put that into like the singularity of a thought. Yeah. It's always going to be very much so a case by case. I digress. My mic is muted. Rock out.
Well, I mean, that's what I got to say on that, because the butterfly effect, trust me, we could go on for days as far as that's concerned. However, Mr. Best, if you had another video, we can go on.
Yeah, y'all try to dice that up as much as y'all can. Salute to M3. Salute to Marcus. You know what I mean? Salute to everyone that checked in. Yeah, CCD, 100 watch, everybody checked in. I do have another video for y'all, all right? Okay? You know what I mean? Because tonight, we're going to really get into it. It's episode 20. All right? Let me get to my next video. Let me see. Let me pull up this next video. Where's my next video at?
I don't know.
Okay, I see it. Look at my next video. Hold on. Give me 1 second. All right. I like how y'all try to intellectually dissect that one. Let's see what y'all do with this one.
I would say that was effortless, sir, but tried is a good word. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Let's see what y'all do with this one. Fair use is over. Let's get it.
Know what the law of attraction is. Can you explain to us what that is and when you first encountered the law of attraction?
Definitely. So the law of attraction is pretty much when you align your energy with what you want. Because a lot of people want things, but they're not aligned with that. So the law of attraction just holds you accountable to make sure that you can get that by aligning your energy with it. So for me, for example, like I always see myself, what I'm doing right now and what I've been doing, I always seen that before I even got here, before I even had any of that. So I had to become that person in order to get to that place, you know what I'm saying? And that goes with anything you want, whether it's money, people, clothes, whatever. You just gotta align your energy with that because everything is energy. So if you understand that everything is energy and you are energy too, you're just making sure that you're the magnet to what you want. So the first time I got it was when I said I think I wanted to grow on social media, for example, and I had 0 followers. So when you have 0 on anything, it's discouraging because you're like, dang, I have this big vision. for what I want, but if you don't have it,
Right.
It feels like, dang, like that's a long way. But I said, nah, let me try this law of attraction thing. Let me see if this actually works. So I aligned myself with what I wanted, and I focused on it, and it came like quick. It's almost like a cheat code to life, almost. So that's when I discovered it, and that's when I realized how powerful and how real it is.
Right. So you have to try to find out.
Exactly. Have to find out. Exactly.
For those of us that don't know what the law of
After around and found out. All right.
Okay. I know what you're gonna say. You're gonna say, Lola, you just
Wait, how you know what I'm gonna say? You don't know what I'm gonna say.
No, I know you're gonna say I'm a contrarian, but you already know. You already know.
I didn't say you was a contrarian. I don't even know what you're gonna say about this. I just assumed my theory on the first video that we did. That's all I did. I ain't say nothing else. The rest is on you.
Okay.
I ain't gonna get my theory yet. Go ahead.
Okay. So when people say, does the law of attraction exist, right? I'm gonna be honest with you, that's a dumb question. It's very dumb. How do you think your atoms are sticking together, forming the shape you see called yourself? How do you think, like, this mouse is sitting here, all the trillions of atoms are like attracted to one another, like causing this thing to be formed? Like, it is like form, like the law of attraction is the reason why gravity exists. It's the reason why everything exists. Like, that's what that is. So to say, well, does the law of attraction really exist? It's like people are not understanding what they're really asking or what they're really being told, first of all. Okay, it's not that deep. All right. You see what I'm saying? The law of attraction is the reason why bird calls actually exist. Like when they're trying to mate with each other, they call each other, and then there's this attractive factor, and basically life, the circle of life happens. Like, the law of attraction exists, and it doesn't exist for people to wish for things. Like, it literally just exists. But in order for you to tap into it, for you to be what's called a conscious creator, which is essentially you're tapping into some stuff, a higher level of what we call magic that you might not understand. This is what's happening. Now, where he went wrong is where he said, for instance, in his case, he had 0 followers and he wanted a lot of followers. So he just aligned himself, right? And he didn't really explain what that is. He just said, align myself. And people are like, what are you talking about? Align what? What do you mean align yourself, right? And he said, I focused on it. That's a lie. You didn't focus on getting all these subscribers, because if you did, you wouldn't have them. You know why? Because the law of attraction doesn't work based on what you focus on. It works based on the energy exuding within you. If you're searching frantically to get followers, your energy is you don't have followers. So the universe is going to match your energy, which is 0 followers. I'm trying to get more. He says, I focused on it. No, he didn't. What he did is he stopped thinking about followers and he started thinking about content. That's why he got all those followers, because he started thinking like someone who already has followers that don't need to focus on followers. He's focused on his craft, and therefore your craft will automatically generate followers, okay? But the fact that you're confident in what you're trying to do, that's an energy. So this is what I'm saying. People are talking about concepts that they know nothing about, and he's saying words that people are going to ingest and say, oh, if I just focus on what I don't got, then I'll get. That's not how the universe works. That's not how any of this works. You know, like the old lady said in the commercial. Like, it's just not how this works. So it's like, again, they hear these concepts. It sounds good. You can get what you want. Just think. No, it's not what happened. Now, notice he said he actually was putting forth one foot in front of the other to do something, right? You see what I'm saying? So here's the thing. Anything that you do, it creates its own energy. It just does. Like, it doesn't matter what you want. That your actions itself creates an energy in and of itself. So he's now putting one foot in front of the other, focused on his craft. So obviously there's an energy that he's creating there. Now that right there works in tandem with what comes along with that, especially when you're dealing with digital media. So my point in saying that I disagree is that not so much that he's wrong in what happens to him, because he's not, it happened, but how he's explaining it to people. It goes back to what Smitty said, which is it works for some people, but then other people it don't. And people are wondering, well, why didn't it work for me? Because you're hearing someone explain something to you, and that's not exactly what happened. But it's like, it sounds good because it happened to them. So you assume, oh, they know what they're talking about because something happened to them. No, that's not it. You see what I'm saying? And I'm not blaming the listener for being mistaken. I'm not, but I am listening to him, and based on my understanding, which you guys can read my name and know what time it is. I know that he is a little.
Don't do that.
I did that. Okay. I did that. Okay. But that's what we're doing. Okay. And that's what we're not doing. And I appreciate him for putting that forth in any degree because it's inspiring. But I will say, again, I am a proponent of keeping certain information sealed from the public because everyone doesn't need to know. The public just needs to know if you want followers, you better work. That's all they need to focus on. That's all they need to know. The law of attraction, you don't need to know nothing about no law of attraction. Do what you're supposed to do to get what you want. Stop focusing on concepts because now you're in the realm of spookism, and that ain't gonna get you in.
Spookism. Oh boy. You know what? Listen. Okay, look. What he's saying, right? He's trying to basically connect the dots to why things are happening, and that's all these videos are trying to do. Just connecting the dots, okay? They're not saying that it explains literally everything, okay? So when somebody throws a theory out there, it's not going to explain everything at once, right? It's just explaining, a certain aspect of life or a certain aspect of the things that we see, right? It's not going to give you because you use the Bible, I'm using the Bible now, right? Even the Bible says, right, that you ain't gonna know everything now, but there'll become a time where you'll be fully known and you'll know everything, right? Or at least the things that you kind of worry about, the things that you are allotted to learn at that time. So, and that's where knowledge is manifesting into wisdom, right? But that's a time thing that happens over time. So, you know what I mean? All he's doing is just connecting the dots. He's not saying, "Oh, okay, if you believe in this theory, then that's how it is, and that's what's gonna happen, and that's all." No, he's just saying, "Okay, this is a piece of the puzzle, right? And this is how it directly affected my life because I manifested this energy into my life, right?" That doesn't mean that he didn't put in the work, right? He did put in the work. He started social media, right? He probably started taking some steps to put in the work, and maybe he left that part out. I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know why he left that part out or why he didn't, right? He's not here to speak for himself. But what I'm saying is that, you know what I mean? It seemed like he took the steps to make things happen, to put the right energy out there. And once he started taking those steps, then yes, the right energy came out there. Now, you know what I mean? But he could be on some Star Trek weirdo type ish, right? But it's like, I'm just gonna believe, and he ain't gonna do no work, right? So I will give credence to that. So he might be on that type of time, and if he is, then yes, what you're actually saying is correct, Mr. Oshun. I'll agree with you for once right now, only one time. All right, so take get out of jail free card right now while you can. All right, it's only gonna happen one time. Salute to Draymo, I see you. But yeah, so maybe he is kind of just factoring this up, and he's just kind of throwing the theory out there based on his own anecdotal experience. Okay, I will give him that. I will give you that as well. But I digress. I'm gonna go to Smitty. Go ahead, Smitty.
I like that. I'm going to keep it basic with it. I'll just go to the definition of it. So, in a layman's term, the definition of like that right there would be, it's a tunnel vision of one's subconscious. So, for example, the whole you buy a new car, all of a sudden you start seeing your car on the road everywhere. Unless you want something super exotic that don't nobody have, it's only 15 makes of it. You know what I'm saying? Okay, now salute to the must be nice crew. All right, but all of a sudden you start seeing that car everywhere. Like, the whole what a person starts to think in their mind is what they would actually start to see. So, for example, let's take the guy who in his head thinks that all women are hoes in some form of fashion. That's the guy that would get with a woman and all of a sudden, like, instead of seeing everything that she really has to offer in that circumstance, that man just might start only looking for what he know is something else that's on some other shit. So then what happens is you only see the negative things. You can gear your mind to only see what it is that your mind thinks of. That's why a lot of times they say with this phenomenon, you have to go ahead and think about what are your everyday thoughts. If your everyday thoughts are geared around everybody out here is fucked up, when you go out into society, because that is your law of what attraction is, then everywhere you go, the only thing you looking for is how somebody's trying to get over on you, scam you, and everything else. You'll never take nobody for who they truly are. And it can go the exact same way in the other sense, as far as if, the person who thinks everybody has love and everybody is a good person deep down inside, that's how you get tricked back by the serial driller. So the law of attraction is basically the tunnel vision of one's subconscious. Whatever your mind is geared towards seeing, right? I promise you, in some form of fashion, you will be seeing that. And you will be blinded to everything else that has nothing to do with that and or would be a counter to what you're seeing. I digress. My mic is muted. Rock out.
Wouldn't that constitute confirmation bias on some level?
A small, but yes.
Okay. I can see that, especially in the example of when this is like with the cars, and in the example of the guy with the 304 situation, you become, everything you see is through the lens of your subconscious, and whether you know it or not, and so therefore that becomes your reality because that's how you see reality, which is essentially, if we draw that back to his example of the 1,000 or million subscribers, in the back of his mind, he already, as one of my favorite pastors say, Neville Goddard says, he's living in the end. He already sees that 1 million check on there, and so he's happy about that, right? So all he sees is everything he does is about that check mark, right? That's already at a million subscribers. He's not looking at it as in like, okay, the first 100 per se. He's looking all the way at in the end. So it's like that's all everything he sees is through that lens. And I've seen people like that. Everything they do is about making sure that end point. And that's the difference between people. But like I had to tell somebody the other day, just don't despise small beginnings, because at the end of the day, every end begins. You see what I'm saying? Like every journey of 1,000,000 miles starts with one step. So, you're never going to get there if you don't take that step. That's just how this is. I just really do like that. That concept. But the thing is, I like the concept better when it's properly explained. And some people, I get it, they're trying to, as Mr. Best say, string ideas together, right? But what good is information, or let's say instructions, if you only have a third of it?
Well, Lola, you tell me, throughout the history of time, what is it that we can look back on all the way down to, let's say, prehistoric bones, you name it, that we have the full everything? There's a whole body of a person. Let's take pharaohs or something. We have to speculate on how they lived, how they passed away, what took place, and everything based on only pieces of information. So only thing that I'm saying on that is, the only thing that I know that one would have the full spectrum of everything that has taken place within that lifetime is their own life. Any and everything else, you're only going to have pieces, shards, and fragments. Sometimes you have larger chunks than others, depending on the circumstance and the story, right? But I don't know nothing out here that we have the full everything on. And let's just be for real about that. That's truly how we get the two words gossip and rumor from. Somebody don't have the full story, and now we're trying to fill in the pieces. That happens a lot out here. That's all I'm saying. Not even to go against what you're saying.
I agree with that. I would just say, for instance, like when we look back in time to understand the life of a pharaoh, for instance, right? We're piecing together a story to understand a life. We're not piecing together instructions for us to build our life. That's the difference. So when somebody's giving you instructions on a non-physical concept that is supposed to render a physical thing in your life, that's an instruction that you need to be on point so that it'll work. Because if it doesn't work, you'll come back to the middle all the time and say, why didn't it work for me? Meanwhile, like you said, you'll be one of those people that are just hitting and missing, not really understanding what you're doing. And you might be one of the few that might get what you're doing based on what you're trying to accomplish. Or most likely you won't be, because you just kind of out there doing whatever and you haven't really got a clear instruction. But keep in mind, look where we're getting the instruction from. We're getting it from people who themselves have just been introduced to that concept. And listen to how the guy explained it. He's like, well, for me, and you can just tell the way he's speaking, this is very new to him. But one thing that is not new to him is work and consistency that always ends positively. That's not foreign to him. And this is why I said some people need to focus on what they can swallow, which is work towards what you want and be consistent. Do not keep changing your mind, because you will never get to a destination if you keep switching where you want to go. Understand why you need to be there and keep going. That's like, I'm not even going to get into manifesting and all of that. Just keep going. Stop worrying about the magical part of life and deal with the most crude part of life. And just because that's what works. Like, that works. So, that's where I think ultimately this is going. Even though I understand that manifestation is a real thing. Right. And here's the thing. You can manifest things in other people's lives as well. But that's a higher conversation than where we're at right now. But again, everything doesn't need to be out there for everybody to do, because you don't need to know certain things in order for you to do what you need to do in your life. You just don't need to know that. You see what I'm saying?
Lola. Everything that you were saying on that really does go back to exactly what I was saying earlier before. It goes right back. You listen, because I was saying, depending on, right, because you were saying like how a person, views things, how they go about things. All right, cool. What it is that we do, it doesn't always pan out. Now, if you look at it from that perspective, I guess on a scientific level, you would call that probabilities, right?
Yes.
If you look at it from a spiritual level, you will call that destiny or meant to be, the whole nine, like your purpose. Now, you said it before. When a person is chasing a purpose, you don't do shit like for the money, the whole nine. All right, bet if you don't do it for the money, you don't do it for that, then all of that should fall into place because you're chasing your purpose. So the point in which I'm saying right now is, I was speaking on how when people move in the direction of their purpose, then that is the straight and narrow path. Those who try to freestyle it, that's how they get all into what you were just talking about. That's the freestyling right there.
Do you think the issue is that they don't understand how to understand their purpose?
Believe it or not, one coming into the light of their purpose really doesn't have anything more so to do with understanding it. It has everything to do with acknowledging it. It's nothing to understand. You just have to acknowledge it. Once you acknowledge it, everything falls into place. Like, for example, before you were a mother, I don't care how many dolls you played with and everything else. Did you really, the very, very, like your first child, did you have to figure out how to be a mother? Or was it just something when it happened, everything seemed to click? Or were you frantic at first? I don't know. I could be wrong.
No, I wasn't frantic. It did seem to just kind of fall into place.
I have one child as a father, never played with dolls growing up, thank God. But the first time I held my child, no one had to tell me hold like the back of the head where the neck is to keep her level. Nobody had to tell me anything. When I held her, it was a perfect form, instinctively.
I see what you mean.
You see where I'm at?
Yeah.
So yeah, I digress. My mic is muted. Rock on.
There you go. There you go. Well, no, I definitely see what you mean in terms of that. But we could deep dive into that in terms of, like, you know, purpose. See what I'm saying? But that would be kind of real left field. Because I always believe that when you're born, your purpose is determined before you're even conceived. But I just know for me, in my purpose, I understood my purpose when I was very young, because no matter what I did, only one thing really worked for me. And when I went to college, right, I went to college for a science degree, right, and an art degree. However, what I stumbled into was something that didn't require any degree at all. You see what I'm saying? And I always look back on all those years and I say, hey, why did I go through that? And why did I put myself through that if this is where I was ultimately supposed to end up? And I realized, as I said earlier in the stream here, that without that struggle, I wouldn't be as good as I am now as a freelancer, as a subcontractor. Like I wouldn't be who and what I am today, even though I'm not working in that field and they don't even pay enough in that field for me to go into it anymore. like for real. Like I understand how I got here. And there are some areas in my life where things just fell into place and it wasn't no real logic to it. It just fell into place. I was at the right place at the right time. It wasn't a choice I made. You know, I really didn't even know how I got there. I just know that I was there, and then stuff just started happening. That there is that element there. So I like going back to what you said earlier, like it's kind of hard to quantify that scientifically, but on another level, we can quantify because we have our own life experiences that reinforce these things in a way that only we can understand individually. And I think someone put it in the was it CCD when they were expressing certain things in their life. Yeah. So it's like, even though our life circumstances are very different, you know, like I remember one time I had a vision where I didn't exist in time. I was outside of time, and I was speaking to something about something that is supposed to happen, but I was trying to negotiate like time with a thing, something. And what I negotiated was one thing that to change in actual time, just one thing. But I learned later on in life that one thing that changed, as we were talking about earlier, caused a butterfly effect. And I see how other things actually change in other people's lives as a result of that one thing that I negotiated to change in time. And I know people are like, who are you talking about? What are you talking about? But it's kind of strange that, you know, basically I had a vision that something was supposed to happen. And I knew about it, but I wasn't in time. I was like in an in-between world where time didn't exist. I could see the past and I understood the future, but time had stopped. And so I was negotiating with nature itself so that a certain like thing wouldn't happen in somebody else's life. And exactly the way I envisioned that thing not going is exactly what happened in my real life, down to the actual like place. But when it happened, I was happy. But afterwards, I started seeing how life just changed because that new event happened, and it's like it didn't turn out too well. Like when I really look back on it, so I always wonder, did I make the right choice in asking for a change in the timeline? You know, sort of like the butterfly effect, where he was trying to fix the situation. I always wonder if I wouldn't have asked that question, would things have been different? But I realized on some level I was supposed to, and this is my lesson. But, you know, again, who can confirm that but me? I'm the only one that was in that vision. I'm the only one that knew what was going to happen. I'm the only one that got the phone call and went to the place in that vision where everything actually happened. And every time I drive past that place, I always remember that vision. And it's like that's my personal confirmation about what this reality really is and what time itself is, and and knowing the future, what that really is. So, you know, nobody can give me that experience or take that away from me. And that's a real thing. Like I have my own confirmation, whereas in your life, you have your own confirmations as well. Now, it can't be scientifically proven because it can't be replicated across every single individual, right? Because that's how we scientifically understand things. But it is a real thing. So that's why I don't discredit at what they call anecdotal experience. I don't discredit it. I just put it in its proper context within conversation.
Okay, yeah. No, I'm with you. All right. So Lola, the tongue doesn't necessarily change one's direction. Only the footsteps do. The footsteps can change your direction more than the tongue. And the proof that I will put behind that is that we all know, let's just say, faith without works. All right, you got the faith, you doing all this talking, but you ain't putting no action behind it. So does anything change? Or are you just still talking? Right? So that's that part right there. Now, if you're speaking about trying to like narrow down, see, this is the biggest problem that we have with this whole butterfly effect, Fermi's paradox, the whole nine, is that they are trying to quantify individual lives. You cannot do that. Now, if you were able to do that, then that would mean that every single individual human that is alive now and or has ever existed and or will exist are all identically the exact same. If we all know that no one of us has the same destiny, fate, nothing, don't we all say you come into this world alone and you what? leave from it the same way. So how possibly is your walk mine? You can look at that from a scientific perspective as well as a spiritual and or religious perspective. It all will come to the same conclusion. Each and every circumstance is different, just like every single cell in your body.
It is different, right?
I digress. My mic is muted. Rock on.
All right, pause. You know what I mean? As he's drinking, he's drinking this Hennessy, you know what I'm saying? So we're going to pause right there, all right? We're going to pause right there, and Fair Use is going to come on up, right? And we got another brother with some more, kicking some more game nuts. Let's get it.
Have told us is a lie. They tell us that our heart is a pump. Your heart is not a pump. Your heart is a valve. Your lungs is a pump that pumps the blood to the heart. Everything they tell us about everything is a lie. They tell you your hair is just hair. No, our hair is non-ether hair. It is actually an extension of your nervous system. It is used to scan the environment. And it brings all of these different neurotransmitters back to your skin to tell you whether to actually engage in the environment or take fight or flight and run away. That's why you get gut feelings. That's why when you see paranormal activities, the hair on your skin stand up. So everything that they ever told us about ourselves is a lie. That dairy is good for the bones and calcium. Milk actually strips the bone of calcium. You know, they tell us don't look at the sun because it will make us go blind. Sun gazing actually stimulates your pineal gland to open up your third eye. They will never teach you nothing to set you free because you being enslaved mentally is how they benefit off of you. So they will never teach you anything to make you free, ever. So we have to take everything that they ever tell us is bullshit. Everything they ever have told us is.
God damn. Mr. Best. What are you doing today, Mr. Best? God. Oh. Yeah, what's wrong with you today, dog? What's really wrong with you today, dog? Come on, homie. What happened? I mean, like you said, come on, homie. What happened? What happened, homie?
Bruh.
Man. Everything is a lie? Everything?
Niggas kill me, man.
Let me say this, Smitty.
Go ahead.
I tried to look at the sun directly, right? And I never do that shit again.
Wow.
That shit had me blind for life.
Nigga, do you know that can cause seizures? Motherfuckers who epilepsy.
Look at the ignorance.
The fuck?
I don't know. Okay, I understand his sentiment, though. I understand his zeal. I get what he's saying. There is a lot of things that the public is told that is not true. I get that, okay? However, the examples he gave were some very bad examples. I know, horrible, right? Just horrible. Like, really.
The thing is this, right? Off Buck. He said all of these things that they telling us because apparently he found out something that they didn't want us to know. And they like, yeah, because all these things that they telling us is a lie. Then how do we know that what you found out is the truth, bro? God damn, bro. Like when you talking to niggas of discernment, like we pick up on these things. Like forget anything. Once you turned it into like yeah, man, because they against us. How I know that you're not a plant sentence to go ahead and further distract us, nigga? Just give out the information. Because the fact is that whatever information is out there, I mean, unless it's some truly like highly classified, locked in the vault, super underground type shit, bruh. I mean, you know, if you got access to Tor, bruh, it's virtually nothing you can find out. I digress. My mic is muted.
I just want to say I think some people get too caught up in this whole conspiracy thing when it comes to whoever the they is. Now, I wish he would have expounded on who is they, because the only person that I know that gave me milk, right, for my bones was my mama. And, you know, so who is they? You feel me? Like, who is they? Now, I'm just saying, now that we're in the age of the internet, you should know, if you got Google, that milk isn't necessarily good for everybody, especially Black people. We tend to be intolerant of that because of our genetics. You should know that by now, okay? Because the internet is here. So no one's lying to you, okay? Your crazy ass. Never mind. Go ahead.
Nah, you Gucci. I mean, it's just like, all right, so information that's out here. There is, all right, so I would say most of us on a regular basis probably get about 20 to 25% of the information, all right? And then even then, maybe another 10% of that information out of 25 is watered down, right? So the fact is that if you don't actually know the avenues in which and where to go get your information, then of course, now, why do most people not have information now? I'm going to be honest with you. That is a self-inflicted wound majority of the times because people don't look up information. You know, more than what the government tells us is a lie, how much do you not look up the truth? Are you continuously being told lies and then never go and try to rebound on the truth? Then, yeah, I mean, of course, that's how you'll get a large mass of people who really are lost in the sauce. I don't care what, even me, myself, I say something, look, anytime you feel like it, type it in, Google it, look it up. I'm saying that even with what I'm saying, look up behind me. You should always research information no matter who gives it to you. Right? So, I mean, I truly, if you can follow what I'm saying right now, more than us being lied to, I believe we just have not sought the truth. So we simply don't know, primarily from not seeking it, more than being deceived from it and it being kept from us. You can find shit out at any moment, but if you don't seek it, don't sit there and tell me it's being kept from you. Nigga, you locked in a damn grocery store. You better not die of starvation. Food poisoning? Okay, all right, maybe you got that bad can of beans. But starvation? How dare you in a full grocery store locked in there? I digress. My mic is muted.
He dropped the mic. I can't. There's no further way after that.
Yeah, you know that was easy. That was easy. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, go ahead.
That was easy. It was very easy. That was easy for y'all. And I'm sorry. You know, maybe I need to give you something a little more challenging, right? And that's okay. I am here to provide this for you. Okay. Mm-hmm. Know what I mean? I'm here to provide the difficult yet strange, and it's all right. This is my job, okay? And I will not fail you. No, I won't. So let me give you something else real quick. Hold on. Let me get a little something else. All right. Oh, laptop is doing well today. You doing well today, laptop? Okay. All right. Let's go. Smitty must pray for this again.
I prayed on it. You got it.
I appreciate that. You know, your prayers are necessary when it comes to the laptop. You know what I mean? And everything else as well. You know what I mean? So listen, let me throw up this fair use. Let's get it.
These creatures are harvesting us. These creatures are not aliens, Mr. Ike. These creatures are sexually compatible with our women. And what does that tell you? It tells you that they came from here. They are. Part of us. African tradition says that the cheetah will fatten on the energy that we human beings give them. They make us to fight each other. And when the whole land is drowning in death and fear and terror, when hundreds hundreds of people are angry and afraid, the cheetah will get fat because they eat that what we call the dark power, which is brought about when human beings destroy the planet on which they live.
I've heard about these reptilians before. I've even seen, their eyes change colors and stuff like that. I've seen video of this. You know what I mean? So, my question is, are the reptilians real? Do they really exist? Right? Is there a different race or different species of people that are literally feeding on us? People just going missing. I mean, it's primarily children, if you can notice, right? A lot of children are going missing, things of that nature, right? So is there a race of people that are feeding on our children and on our weak? You know what I'm saying? So when you move it, hey, look, watch where you going. All right? You know that street that everybody keep going down there, like, man, something wrong with that street. You feel the energy, something off with that street, man. I don't know what's going on. Don't go down that street. They may be down there waiting for you. All right? And once they get you, you're gone. They're eating you. It's a wrap. You will not survive. All right? So, that being said, what do y'all think?
What's the best? I'm about to hurt some feelings right now. And here's the thing. Let me apologize to all the ancestors that died with this in the back of their mind. Let me apologize to Let me apologize to all of Africa right now before I say what the fuck I'm about to say. I love you, but I must tell the truth. Okay. And now that I got that out of the way. This is some bullshit. All of this is some bullshit. Like, it's utter bullshit. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about right now. Okay? Them Hispanics that are coming up here from the South is taking jobs. They're creating circumstances in our government to which money is being poured into them and not into our school system. I want the U.S. Armed Forces on the motherfucking case down there at the wall. That is no reptilian, okay? That is me saying I don't like that shit, okay? Seriously. When Russia invaded Ukraine, it wasn't the reptilians that had me saying America need to shut the fuck up and let them people work their own problems out, white people problems. Okay, that's not the reptilians. That's my good common sense. Okay, so here's the thing: the old folk would like to blame spiritual beings for why people do what people do, but I am of a different opinion. That the reason why people are at war is the same reason cats are at war. The same reason why dogs fight occasionally. The same reason why a gorilla might take a giraffe down every great now and then. Because it's human nature. It is not reptilians running around controlling your minds. It's not what this is, okay? Now, to the point that he said these reptilians came here and made it with our women. I know what he's referring to. That is not, again, this is one of those circumstances where you have someone giving you bits and pieces of information, and because they don't know it all, you're going to take that and apply it, and now you're going to get misinformation. What he's talking about, referred to as the reptilians, are a race of beings that were referred to as reptilians because they were referred to as wise ones, people that had knowledge above the average human being, and that's why they call them reptilians. On top of the fact there were certain characteristics of them that was similar to serpents, meaning they could do things that's similar to serpents in terms of their physicality. Not that they had actual scales, okay? This is what we're talking about. Your Bible tells you about these beings. Your Quran and the Hadith tells you about these beings. It tells you that they came down and the genetics were just right for them to mate with human women. And they also taught human women the art of the occult. That's what your religion tells you. So why the fuck is this man out here talking about reptilians that you have never met, Ain't never gonna see being the reason why you at war with your neighbor because they stepped on your white Air Force Ones. Oh, wait. Shout out to Africa, by the way. Did I say that?
Okay. Yeah. Nah. Damn. I want to eat too low as shit. Anyway. All right. So look, right. When it comes to like this, all right, reptilians. Wow. No. Now, the only thing I will say, all right, Lola, I will say this. Me being somebody who does believe in the afterlife, and there is definitely a very much more real dimension that is not this. I do believe that there are those of us who walk amongst us, but they're not really us. Are they like, reptilians and all of that shit? Is it something where like, you dip them in holy water and all of the human skin melts off like a damn movie and now they, you can see the true form and shit? No, damn it. No. They're through and through human, right? But that in which keeps us going, which is that light, that spirit, that is of a different cloth. That is of a different origin. Not of us, not all of us are of the same, although we walk in the same vessels, right? As far as the humanoid creation. Now, when you get to the point of like, all right, is this person really human or not? And all of this other shit, a lot of these things really just come down to that aspect in which you were speaking of. See, that's more so ideology. That's more so things that we have been taught. The whole nine. The man that was talking before, cuz with the locks, bless his heart, bless the brother. I just, you gotta laugh at the shit because that was funny to me. I'm sorry. But there was one thing he was speaking on, because I've been studying this and trying to figure out what really keeps your heart beating. Like, what really does that? Yes, that would be your blood flow that keeps the heart beating. Now, of course, that would be the scientific reason. Okay, the blood flow. They can scientifically make sure that the blood is flowing through your body after your soul has left it. Do you come back to life? I think not, because I think a whole lot of people would have been paid that bag to bring a loved one or two back. So the fact is, no, that's the physical answer. The fact is, and Lola, we talked about this on that show when Cuz was going to Antarctica, the edge of the earth and stuff, and I was referring back to there are some things that we are just not supposed to have the answers to. Now, it's real fun to speculate on it, and you know what? I think that's a part of our loving creators' sense of humor. Now, don't give them all the answers. Just sit back and see what they say. Look at that shit. You hear what he said? The fuck? So it's like, nah, man, like there are going to be things that are going to be said and be brought about, but you have to also know how to recognize, is that part of the distraction? Having too many options to go ahead and choose from. You got so many options, you never pick one. That in itself can be trickery.
Yeah.
I digress. My mic is muted. No, it ain't no damn reptiles. It's just crazy ass people. Fuck we talking about.
Okay. And I agree with Smitty, but I'll make one point, and it's not a counterpoint, but maybe it's a additional point. Okay. When you ask, are they really human? Right? The question of the century is, are we really human? Now, I know if you've been studying some of the scientific movements, and the SETI, the Institute for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, and NASA, and the different programs, you'll understand why the question of the century is, are we really human, right? You'll understand that because geneticists have found that our DNA does not line up with what we would understand as being a humanoid, given the humanoids that existed for millions of years before us on this planet that were anatomically the same as us, but have no genetic relation to us, meaning we did not evolve on this planet. We were not evolved from different, paleo type of humanoids. We just literally, as the Bible said, got here overnight. So we are a unique set of beings, right, that are just on this planet, and we really don't know where the hell we came from or how we got here. We really don't. Seriously. So
Lola, what animal and or being named and or called us humans? The word humans,
right,
all the way down to the spelling, where did that derive from? What animal?
I can't tell you what proto language that derives from, but what I'll say this: the idea of the humanoid is more of an anatomical description, right? It's like this is a humanoid, not a human, right, but a humanoid, right? I think that would be a more proper term for us and anything similar to say humanoid, because to say human, now the question is, what actually constitutes as human? Because Neanderthals are humanoid, but which one of us are actually human? The word human is too broad of a term, but what we're going to say is, based on our genetics, right, we're not related to human. We're not related to those humanoids, and they're not related to us. They didn't evolve from us, and we didn't evolve from them. Where did we evolve? There is literally no proof that we evolved on this planet, let alone from quote unquote apes. There's no proof of that. You share 75% of your DNA with trees. Did you evolve from a tree? You understand?
Lola,
huh?
The point that I'm making, sis, is this. The word human, you said, how do we know that we're really humans?
Right.
The fact is, everything was named by us. Are we really humans? I don't know, but that is how you would identify us as opposed to a bush, us as opposed to a lamp. Everything has a name description.
Well,
so what I'm trying to figure out is, did we call ourselves humans? Or were we all standing in front of some great being or something before and you all are humans, y'all are animals, that's grass, bushes, and trees, and fuck it, call that shit the sky. Is that how it worked out?
I got an answer for you. The first name that on record that we know of, okay, now this could be false, but the first record on name that we know of that we were called something was, we were called not Adam, but the Adam, meaning earthling, the thing of earth. Okay, it's like to just understand the way language is struck together, right? When I say recognizance, right, that is actually 3 different words put together to mean one idea, but we don't hear it as 3 different words. We hear it as one word. So the word Adam means the earthling, meaning as in one or many. It's no real difference, right? So when we say earthling, what are we talking about? We're talking about the thing that is actually on earth. So it's when you say the thing on earth, what is that? There's a lot of things on earth. So what are we talking about? We're still at the same point. So this is what I mean by, yes, that word, we called ourselves that. But in reality, even calling ourselves that, the question still stands. Are we really a unique set of beings called human? Or is it that we're not as unique as we seem to think? And these quote unquote reptilians are not really reptilians. They're just us and shit doing crazy shit.
I would say me personally, Lola, I love you, babe, but that's going too far for me. The fact is, humans developed the art of language. It started first through sign and sound, right? And then we eventually got to the point of like carving shit and things of that nature. We are called humans because one day we finally called ourselves humans, not monkeys, not porcupines, or anything else. One day we developed the language, and that is what we became. That is who we are. Just like how, for example, watch this. Okay, let's just take, it's a reason why I purposely say our loving creator. I don't say anything else. I don't even say God, because listen, first of all, I'm the type who knows what really the name is, right? But the fact is, everybody has their own name.
That's fine, because
exactly.
We as humans, the way we communicate is everything has a set name. And if we don't give, like for instance, with the they them situation, right? The reason it's confusing is because the way the human mind is constructed, you cannot talk about one individual and say them, because now we need to understand, we need a qualifier for that. And that's not how language is constructed. So this is the problem with that. But what I'm saying is this: it's an attempt to qualify ourselves as different from something else. But forgive that, right? The issue is you're qualifying humans based on being humanoid, not based on our DNA. If it was based on our DNA, and all of you guys that have science degrees and geneticists, you understand there is no physical way for us to be, quote, human based on our DNA. It is not. We are more than what we think we are. There's no way for you to qualify us as a unique species, knowing that we carry 3 separate sets of DNA in us at all times. And I mean distinct separate DNA that does not like merge together into one. That is not even the case. And that prompts the question of what is in our past in antiquity that has caused us to be formed in such a unique way, physically, away from what is normal on the planet. For instance, you know that other like Denisovans, Neanderthals, and different sets of humans like that, they actually anatomically they were more built for this planet. They were, their bones were built. They didn't have calcium issues because their bones were actually built for the planet. Ours are not. So you're telling me we evolved? Evolution doesn't work like that. You evolve to adapt. We are not adapt to this planet. So you cannot define what we are as an evolution. Maybe a devolution, but not an evolution. And so that's what I'm saying right now. The question is, how human are we? But
Lola, how would you say that we are not adapted to this world when we have survived all kind of catastrophic everything? You sitting here talking to me so comfortable, and you're saying that we have not adapted?
No.
Okay.
No, we have not adapted. In fact, the longer we're here, the worse it gets.
Okay, so are you talking about that from the perspective of pollution and things and like the corruption that we bring? Is that what you speak of?
No, well, no, not exactly. I can't X that out, but not exactly.
What exactly are we doing that's destroying planet Earth? Exactly. Curious.
Us being here is destroying the planet, whether we do anything or not. Our numbers itself is causing disruption within the ecosystem. We weren't meant to exist in these numbers. For instance, the deer population versus the wolf population in the forest. There's a certain ratio where that has to stay in order for both to exist. If one gets out of hand too much, it throws everything off. And that's where we're at right now, just based on our existence on this planet, even if there was no pollution or nothing. So what I'm saying is that the human, what we call the human here on this planet, is a devolved being that is now questionable in terms of if we ever evolved or if we were some freak creation that started in a laboratory someplace, and now we're trying to figure out why is it that we don't fit here, meaning that no matter where you go in the world, you're susceptible to the sun, and that's even if you're black, okay? You're more susceptible to diseases just simply because you exist, not because you did anything wrong, like at all. And it's like, truth be told, like, come on, like, if we really wanted to talk about how humans are not from Earth, we could really get into that. There's too many conversations going around that will prove that even if we don't know where we're from, we know this planet is not where we evolved, and we know that our beginnings were somewhat like different from other beginnings. It was not a natural progression of something just getting better. That's not how that is. That's not. And when you say we survived, listen, woolly mammoths didn't survive, and they were built for oceans of ice. So how did we survive something that animals who have been evolving for millions of years didn't survive? You think that was an accident? You think we did that by nature? You think naturally we was just out here just surviving on the ice? No, that's not what happened. But that's really not what happened. But see, what the heck? Okay, stop playing that.
Oh, damn, that was close.
You know what? That's Smitty's fault. That is Smitty's fault.
Yo, Smitty do have controls on certain things that, like, yo, I don't even really be knowing what be going on, especially Saturday.
Oh, no.
Nah, listen. All right, so Lola. Okay. One, if I'm not mistaken, and I spoke about this just the other night, you can fit every single human on planet Earth in the state of Texas. We are not a problem. I promise you that. Every human on planet Earth can live in just the state of Texas alone. We're not throwing off no damn balance. When you talk about the woolly mammoths and things of that nature, you also have to think of what existed during the days of woolly mammoth. Well, I don't know, shit like saber-toothed tigers and stuff. See, the fact is that this is all a part. See, when you keep trying to look at everything from that physical aspect, then you'll always have these like these really unquantifiable type questions. When you actually truly, I'm gonna say it, submit to the fact that there is an orchestrated design outside of this. You said it yourself, we're not from Earth, of course, because we weren't created here. We were created in the heavens. And we were brought here. Yes, you're right. We're not from here. There's not no alien shit. Okay?
By definition it is, but I get you. Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. No. And you know what? Touche. You damn right. That is technically dead ass. Now you on point. Okay, now. I see you. So like, yeah, so it's like if we keep looking at these things in that perspective, listen, everything that we talking about, where does it come from? I guarantee you, every single laws as far as the physics are concerned and everything, it comes from 9 times out of 10 either some type of Scientologist white person or some type of person that's atheist and doesn't believe at all. We are arguing their points when we know exactly what it is truly within us. And I ain't even talking from a religious perspective. I'm talking about just as those from the earth. You said that we share a lot of DNA with like what, trees, lobsters, everything else, right? Well, why is that? Maybe, just maybe, that is the one who created us, making sure that, yes, like we truly are, because what does it say? From what we come from is what? What we shall return to. So, I mean, all of these things connect, but at the same time, like, I don't know, man, no person, nobody has all the answers to these. And that's why I really try to guard my tongue and steer clear from speaking too much about things, because then you'll get to the point where you're trying to speak for the creator. I try to be careful with that. So the only thing that I do is I simply ask God questions, but I never question God. I digress. My mic is muted. Rock out.
I mean, and I can respect what you just said. I really can. I'll only say that when it comes to the balance that you spoke about, as far as all human beings being able to fit inside Texas, did you know that all these superior bones that we found about our ancestors can fit in the back of one truck, and I mean a small truck like a SUV, or every last one found in the world can fit in one SUV. But you're telling me like this is our history, right? Okay, so what I'm saying is this: no matter how small of a number we're at right now, our presence here, based on what we need and don't need, is a problem for the planet itself. The air we suck is taking up good air from something else because we exist in too great of a number that is not natural. For instance, you're not supposed to be able to have more children than what you can bear. But the way society is set up, you could have 100 children. You're not bearing a damn thing. It's nothing that's going to happen.
If you go back to the biblical days, Lola, I mean, I don't know how many wives did Solomon have. How many kids did David and stuff? How many brothers did Joseph have?
Wait, I'm not taking away from systems where the kings was able to have multiple wives. What I'm talking about is naturally a man, like what you can actually provide for.
My dad is number 8 out of 9.
Hold on. You cannot provide for more than what you can provide for. You feel me? However, at the end of the day, take away hospitals.
Mm-hmm.
Just take away hospitals, right? Your father and mother is not having 10 children. Just take away hospitals. Hospitals are unnatural things. Women, let's say 1 to 2 out of every 5 women historically in antiquity died in childbirth. Okay, so let's be clear about the fact that the reason why we exist in these numbers has a lot to do with artificial intelligence, not just our natural way of being. So, and here's the thing, what is it? SIDS and child mortality. That is a real thing. You see what I'm saying? And then add disease in there, and then add animals and predators. You're not talking about a population that can really sustain beyond a certain point. To have 8 billion people on the planet that has doubled since I've been alive is unnatural. Our numbers are too great on this planet, and this planet wasn't built to sustain that. Now, I'm not saying that we shouldn't be here, because obviously we are here. But what I am saying is that some of the things that we take for granted as being natural is not natural when you really flush it out. And no matter where we come from, there's a problem with where we're at right now, and which is why we have all these issues.
Okay. No. Good point on that. I'm just saying, as far as if you're talking about our existence being here, our existence here is honestly only detrimental when we step outside of our natural, laws of boundaries, right? Like, for example, animals don't step outside the laws of boundaries.
They're not trying to dominate the planet either.
I'm agreeing with you, Lola. That's trying to dominate. Listen, all right, you saying to dominate, that's even what I was saying before. When we try to figure out everything, do everything, save every damn species. I'm gonna be honest with you. When they say certain species are going extinct, maybe that's part of the process. Maybe you're fucking it up by trying to keep this a certain animal or something here, because we all know many things have passed on. But it's continuously replenished. See, the problem is we don't need to do nothing but exist for the most part. Nothing else on planet Earth does what we do, going outside of the boundaries of what it is that we were created and designed for, right? So when you're talking about us existing here, us merely breathing, now I am curious, Lola. I'm wondering, okay, all right, I'm gonna hold my breath, and I want you to tell me what plant or what life deserves it more. Go.
What? Who deserve it more? What? You better breathe. What are you talking about?
Come on, Lola. All right. Listen. What deserves that air more than me?
Whoever can get it more than you.
What if I told you that everything that was created all the way down to air was created in more than an abundance so that none of us have to argue or fight over nothing, what do you mean? So who deserves it more? Who deserves it more?
Whoever was on Mars at first, nobody deserved it because there ain't no more air on Mars. Right. Okay. So I'm just saying. Yeah. But yeah, I know. Go over. I know. I got you. All I'm saying.
Wait, did it get too hot for him? Did it get too hot for him here? It got too hot for him?
What'd you say?
Did it get too hot for Smitty up here? It got a little too hot for you, bro? You got to calm down for a minute? It got a little too hot?
No, he had to calm down. He had to calm down. What I'm saying is, as humans, right? For instance, when we read the Bible, it tells that man was supposed to, go out there and, basically make earth their, dominion, or whatever the case may mean, and to dominate. We don't need to dominate anything, but because we dominate, other species suffer. So this is why scientists feel that we are the reason why the tigers, for instance, are not mating well, because we're running them off their natural lands, because we're feeding them, they're intaking food sources that are tainted with chemicals that we produce, that's causing them to be infertile. Like, we know that. So there's certain things that we do to quote unquote save the planet, okay, meaning not dominate the shit, but we're doing it in an artificial way. We're like not dominating in a way where we're really dominating. And I get that, but you made a good point that there is a natural order to things. And there's some animals, for instance, like T-Rex, right? Wouldn't want them running around right now. But in order for us to be here, they have to be dead. This is why I don't.
And the woolly mammoth had to go with them. They was here too.
No. The woolly mammoth is good to go. Okay, we are resurrecting the woolly mammoth as we speak. Okay, you do understand about the elephant project where they are taking the DNA of the woolly mammoth.
Yes, from the fur, because they found a specimen that was preserved well enough. I've seen it. We on the same vibe.
In 10 to 20 years, I'm going to see the woolly mammoth, and I'm going to get me a ride on the back of a woolly mammoth. Okay, do not be talking shit about woolly mammoths. They are fine. It's the saber-toothed tigers that you're referring to, okay? Those are the ones we're going to let them stay dead. But I heard they were trying to resurrect the Triceratops. I forgot the name of the dinosaur, but I forgot. They
That'll be Jurassic Park out here, basically.
Pretty much. But they're trying to resurrect nice animals that we can control. Not like, the ones that we're really afraid of and shit. Not those. But I don't know. Maybe.
Have you seen an elephant trample a person?
I have.
Right? Okay. All right.
I said I was going to ride on the back. I didn't say I was going to let it trample me, okay? And it's a baby. Okay. All right. I want to ride the woolly mammoth. Yeah, Triceratops. That's what they're trying to recreate, which I want to see if they can do that. But here's the thing.
That was one of my favorites.
Right. But here's the thing. The only reason why I want to see this is because when I see the bones of these animals, they're really magnificent. And that's part of being human. I want to bring back the past the way I fucking want to. You know why? Because God gave me the knowledge to do so. And guess what? I want to do it. But here's the thing. I think there's a balance between our existence and what's natural. And I think we owe it to nature to be always cognizant that although we operate in a non-natural way, we have to give credence to the natural element that is supposed to exist on this planet. So as many, let's say, buildings and cars that we create, we have to plant trees just as much as we build cars and buildings and stuff like that. We have to. I'm just saying. Yeah.
Okay, now listen, I can't do that if I can't breathe though, Lola. So I'm gonna need some of this good old air. I'm gonna get any of this done. I mean, that's just basic. I ain't even talking about my lunch being packed and gas in the car. I need me a good old inhale, exhale. So while I'm using this air, I'm gonna try not to waste it. All right, I'm gonna just try not to waste it.
It was a movie where some scientists went out of space, right, and they came in contact with a virus or whatever that had grew into this thing, right? Like it looks like an animal, but it was like a thing, right? And what happened was something happened to the ship, to which because it's really cold out in outer space. And so that cold started to rush into the ship. This thing was like trying to beat the humans to any source of heat that it could get to, right? And what happened was it was willing to kill humans for heat. But at first, it wasn't killing humans. It was like playing with humans. But then when it got down to the wire, it was like, yo, if it's between me and you, it's gonna be me, man. I mean, it's gonna be you, because I'm gonna survive. But the one guy said that he didn't hate the thing for killing the rest of the human crew because he understood it's only doing that for the same reasons we would do it, which is our natural state of survival. And so I think that's where we come in as an artificial species to allow the world a different choice. You see what I'm saying? Like right now, tigers should be extinct. But we have the choice to extend their lifetime. That's a choice, and we've made.
Listen, Lola. It's not about if we have the choice to extend their lifetime. We could just stop turning them into goddamn rugs. Let's just be for real. Like that's just something we just, listen, just like I believe it's the white rhino, the tusk, these are things that they have something that is very valuable. Matter of fact, sperm whales were being hunted for a long time because of the liquid in the front of their head that was being used for like lighting fluid and like candle lighting shit. Sperm whales were being hunted. So all of these things, it's just about the value. But watch this though. Ola, guess what? Certain Asian countries, they got prisons where they take human people and they put their organs on black markets. See, anything that has a value, man will pillage it. Now, what are we doing when we do that? Stepping outside the boundaries of law.
Okay. I'm not saying that doesn't happen. What I am saying is this. Have you seen the movie Pandora? Not Pandora.
Pandora's Box.
The Way of Water.
Oh, The Way of Water, yes.
Okay. Remember they were hunting the whales and for the chemical in the middle of their brain because it was helping humans live longer, right? Okay. And me and Stan did a whole video on that. Okay, we broke it down. Okay, but the problem in that movie was that the government was indiscriminately killing the animal, taking that little bit of liquid and leaving the body to rot. The issue is they had enough technology to use whales to extract a certain percentage of that liquid and leave the animal alive to create more of the liquid so that they could exhume that on an ongoing basis. For instance, when we have sheep, right? When we want sheep fur, we don't kill the sheep, do we? We just shave the sheep and let it grow back, and we shave it again. That's how we create a sustainable source of that resource. So this was the problem in the movie. They were just killing the animals to the point where it came down to almost a screeching halt where they almost didn't exist. Why? Because people they don't want to understand that there is a delicate balance between technology and nature. And you have to maintain that if you want to benefit from either. And this is the thing. This is where I think humans have to learn. And I think we're getting there, but we're not there yet. I think there's companies and different tycoons that are lobbying for humans to create sustainable sources of resources through animals, through planets, through different harvest minerals that they get from these asteroids. But again, it's not about the actual resource. It's about our ability to balance the extraction and killing off the planet that we need. Because right now, if we kill the air that we breathe, we're killing us.
Got you. Hey, so bring Stan up top.
What? Look at Stan's face. Like, what?
Stan.
What's up, guys? How everybody doing?
Hey, Stan, how are you?
What's up, Lola? What's up,
Chilling, brother?
What's up, 84? Hey, good show. I just want you to know, like, one of the woolly mammoths they want to bring out is going to be the size of a dog. And coming from a place with invasive species, growing up in Florida, aka Jurassic Park, it's not a good place to be. You can't take.
Don't tell me that, Stan. Don't tell me that.
Florida's Jurassic Park. It's like you.
Don't tell me the woolly mammoth is going to be the size of a dog. I thought it was supposed to be the size of an African elephant.
Woolly mammoth's actually bigger than that. They way bigger.
No, but I thought that they only had half the DNA sequence, which is why they had to impregnate the African elephant with the DNA so it could be a half breed. That's what I thought.
Yeah, but you know, I don't know if they do that, it's gonna be, you know, yeah, because at the same time people want pets, and you're looking at, man, have you seen like the teacup dogs and the forever kittens? Mm-hmm. You know, the little dwarf cats. Like everybody wants something small and tiny to walk around. I bet you they, in order to get the woolly mammoth to be big again, they'll probably splice it with giraffe DNA and bear DNA. And look what we got right now with the bears. The bears are breeding with the grizzly and the polar bear, and we got something that we can't control. It's bigger than the polar bear, yeah, because the ice is
short face. You talking about short face?
No, not the grizzly bear.
That thing is huge.
But we got polar bears mating with grizzly bears because the polar bears are coming off from the Arctic and coming down because there's no ice. They're looking for food.
So wait a minute. Okay, so there's a new species of bear that is uncontrollable, meaning that it has a nature about itself that doesn't fit inside of the environment?
Yeah, because it's both roll up into one. Just like, remember ligers? Like ligers are not supposed to produce. There's a tiger and a lion, right? Mm-hmm. But now you have ligers that are producing. They're bigger than both, and they're producing. So, you know, we haven't learned from Jurassic Park. And at the same time, we got to worry about tech. It's too much going on right now. And then you got Mother Nature's like, you know what? I'm just clearing all this out. So, and how many blood moons do we get a year? Because it used to be rare. Every time I see a blood moon, I'm like, okay, somebody about to do a sacrifice. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I just seen a lot just this month. I can't even hold you on that. Yeah. This is true.
You know, here's something, right? I know we talk about Mars, but I think we've been introduced to philosophy of Venus. Because Venus, right? They're talking about Venus has this pocket of air. You can't go to the bottom of Venus because it's poisonous, right? Mm-hmm. But somehow there's a pocket of air which is sustainable for humans, right? Mm-hmm. Keep in mind, we, like for half a century, we've been watching this cartoon that never had any land, and everybody lived in these apartments that was in the air.
It was in the air, correct. Yeah.
The Jetsons.
Right.
Jetsons never said they was on Earth, did they?
No, right.
I think Project Venus is more realistic than Project Mars.
I think so. I said that years ago that the best option that we had in terms of interstellar travel was to create cities in the sky, not try to colonize planets and basically change terraforming a whole planet. That takes hundreds of years at minimum, versus us just creating what we can create that will sustain us in the event of an emergency. But that was me in my, emergency management mode, because that's what I do for a living. But yeah.
Yeah, long term it takes a little bit longer. Short term, and more realistic is going to be Venus, because everybody's not talking about Venus. Everybody's talking about Mars, and I'm like, well, yeah, we might be going to Mars. I don't know if you've seen Dark Matter yet. That's a TV show I recommend for you to watch.
I did.
You saw that teleportation?
Yeah, and I liked it. I like stuff like that. I did. But see, I just think that the Mars thing is them trying to be what they call a Category 1 civilization, because we're not a Category 1, and that's what they want to be. However, I think that they can walk and chew gum too. They can be a Category 1 civilization and be colonized out there in Mars, but they can also create, as you said, the Venus effect here, whereas this planet itself is sustainable because we have places where we can live. If, let's suppose, the Earth flooded again, the entire planet, that project would sustain the entire population out here. So I don't understand why we're focused on Mars more so than that. But I get it. They want to actually expand. Now, here's the thing. We already have rovers on 2 planets now. You see what I'm saying? So it's like...
Wait, are we considering the moon the planet as well? Because then that'd be 3.
Oh, right. Okay. So 3 planets right now we have rovers on. So it's like, okay, we have rovers on Mars, we have rovers on the moon, and we have rovers on what planet is that?
Venus?
It's further out.
I is forgot. Neptune? Is Neptune? What? Not Saturn, right? Definitely not Jupiter. We couldn't handle Jupiter.
Yeah, definitely not Jupiter. It's one of them. It's not a moon out there, but essentially they have 3 projects going at the same time in terms of rovers. See what I'm saying? So I like that idea, right? However, the idea of us living on these planets is something that's out of our purview right now. It's like, it's no water. Well, even if it's water there, who wants to live there?
Well, look, there's a song that's out that says the earth is ghetto and I want to leave. I think there's a song. Look it up. It's like the earth is ghetto and I want to leave. And I think there's some people that'll be like down for it.
There is some people that is down for it. And that's true, Chris. Pluto does have water on it. However, it's like, can we live on a water planet? No, we can't.
No.
Can we live on a planet that has a reserve of, let's say, methane versus what we are used to? Like, no. So we at some point we will be able to colonize these different planets. But let me be honest with you. Before we colonize a planet, we might need to know what government is this going to be under.
The corporations. There'll be no government.
So this is another problem. If our government is paying for this, what government is this under?
No, remember, government lease. Government don't own. So the government is a corporation. If you got corporations handling, is NASA back? Because last time I checked, everybody was doing private spaceships and private.
That's what I'm saying. NASA is supposed to be an international organization, but it's not. It represents the U.S. versus the Russian missions and the Chinese missions, and also some of the Southeast Asian missions as well. So that's what I'm saying. We need to work out what the fuck we doing right now.
Here it is. We're either gonna belong to Warner Brothers, Disney, or Universal. Because that's
Disney or Universal.
Because that's what we're gonna belong to. Because it's like,
Pluto has liquid. It's not the water we drink. I believe it's kind of like a liquid. It's like a frozen liquid nitrogen. Mm-hmm. It's not the same. It's not H2O. It's H2O based.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's the same situation on Mars, because there is quote unquote H2O base up in the Arctic on Mars. I don't know if it's H2O. However, I do know that they found a bunch of trace elements of, let's say, nuclear fallout all over Mars. In terms of the rover, was it Liberty and Justice rover, finding that everywhere all over the planet was what we consider to be artificial trace evidence of nuclear fallout. So it's like, can we drink that water over there on Mars? But I don't know. Now we can live over there on Mars. I will give you that. The weather there is a little better than it is in New Orleans in the summertime. But we can. But here's the thing. Do I want to live on Mars? Not exactly.
Well, listen, it's real simple. What are the three components that make water?
Hydrogen, oxygen.
And
is that there?
Yeah.
Is it the same form of what it is here?
I don't know. I think that they're still investigating that.
You know, the water at the bottom of the ocean where it's black and no sunlight is not the same water at the surface.
Correct. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing: they don't know until they get there.
But here's something.
Facts,
possibility with the gene splicing and gene editing that's taking place. So
hold on, Stan. Hold on. Park your car. Okay. Park your car.
You talking to a Star Trek person?
Park your car. Got something else for y'all coming up right now. Let's get into it.
Oh God.
Is replacing evolution by natural selection with evolution by intelligent design. Not the intelligent design of some god above the clouds, but our intelligent design. We have the technology to hack human beings on a massive scale. You know, the whole idea that humans have, you know, they have this soul or spirit and they have free will and nobody knows what's happening inside me. So whatever I choose, whether in the election or whether in the supermarket, this is my free will, that's all. We humans should get used to the idea that we are no longer mysterious souls. We are now hackable animals. Science is replacing.
Stan, you were saying?
I need for Christmas, everyone out there, look at me. No more Nikes. Y'all need to buy some books. Go to Five Below. Get into the sciences. Buy some books. Because that's what things are at right now. If you want to sit down and go for the shallow stuff, you're not going to survive.
Pages or audio? Because you know they're picky now, Stan. You at least got to break that down.
What you mean?
Oh, okay.
Books.
If you buy some books on science, since you like money, buy books on business. Since you guys like recreational herbs, let's go ahead and pick up a chemistry book.
No, but well, I give you
because
that.
You gotta.
I will give you that. I give you that. If that's what you're into, that's what you should be.
But you know, I'm trying to. You know, it's YouTube. I'm just trying to you know what I'm saying, make it presentable for YouTube. But
okay, somebody explain to me what this guy, the white guy that was just talking, explain to me what his overall, what is the idea that he's talking about? Because he's talking about evolution through intelligent design.
Designer babies.
That's not evolution, okay? That's just intelligent design. However, what is the end game? I didn't catch it.
You pick and choose your child or your children, and then society also picks and choose where this child gonna be when they grow up. So right now you're looking at something called the third DNA, where we don't need an egg necessarily. We can just take our DNA and just crossbreed and just get a surrogate.
Okay.
And even
here's what I think is balance. I understand that there is a whole host of problems that can come about from humans picking traits in their children. There's medical problems that can come from that. There's social issues that can come from that, and there's natural selection problems that can also arise from that too. However, I do believe that if you are going to employ the science of choosing your children, right, choosing your eggs that are healthy, right, or sperm that is healthy, is the best that I think humans can do without fucking up their ecosystem. Because at the end of the day, everyone wants a healthy baby. But for you to say, well, I want a black child with blue eyes, okay, that has light colored hair, that's actually tall, but it also has these other traits, essentially you're creating a monster, because these traits are not here for people to look at. The reason why certain groups are taller than other groups is because naturally they had to be taller for a natural reason. The reason why some black people have blonde hair versus black hair is for a specific reason. That might have been a disease that just became part of their normal DNA. We don't know. But if you're picking that based on topical, like aesthetic, remember what happened in Jurassic Park when they was just picking and choosing genetic elements to make that dinosaur, and they created a monster? You see what I'm saying? Because that dinosaur was not supposed to have all of those elements in one, because animals that can camouflage, right, need to live in the bush, right? These are not your open land animals. Yet this is an open land animal with the ability to camouflage itself. That's not natural. It's first of all, it's unnecessary, but it's not natural. So this is what I'm saying. The blend of technology and nature has to be carefully understood and carefully created in terms of the steps that we take towards each and every decision. But this is why I think there should always be a council that decides these matters, because like someone like himself, we got the technology, let's do it. First of all, bitch, let's not just do anything. Okay, first of all. Second of all, the fact that we know how y'all are when it comes to picking traits, and you only want the Europeans when you want it, okay? No. This is not gonna work. It creates problems, more problems than what it solves. So it's not just let's use technology. It's let's not fuck ourselves over in the process too.
I think we're already there, because if you go on TLC, I believe there's a show where people have, the pet have passed away. They got a collection of the pet's DNA, and they breed the genetic of this pet, this animal, and it's like this animal has come back to life. However, what they don't talk about,
That's what we're going to remember. That lady cells that's still alive that died many years ago. They still have her cells alive. I forgot her name.
Yeah.
Yes.
I said that he didn't take the thing for him.
Yeah, because like when you look at it, right, it's like what they didn't tell people were like with the animal, it wasn't one animal. There was a series of 6 or 7 animals or puppies, right? And they had to eliminate the other 6. But then people had to come in and like, no, you can't do that. A life is a life. And then people didn't want these other 6 puppies running around that look like their dog. I mean, this is stuff that we're going through right now. I mean, and also keep in mind, at one point, people wanted designer fish that glow in the dark, and designer cats that glow in the dark, and design puppies that glow in the dark. And then what happened? Y'all didn't get them dogs and them puppies neutered. Y'all flushed them fish down the toilet. So now we have this gene that's introduced to the population of animals.
Right.
The same thing could be said about humans. This thing probably is already out here, and it's just been introduced into our gene pool already, and we don't know.
Well, see, we have the intelligence to understand that, for instance, animals and plant life that glow in the dark are animals and plant life that spend most of their time in the dark. If you spend most of your time in the dark, right, your psychology is different. It just goes together. So if you introduce the DNA of glowing in the dark, you're also introducing DNA of a psychology that is very foreign to humans. And when you put that in humans, for them to be nocturnal when that's not what they are, and a whole host of other things. This is the reason why I'm saying that before human beings should be allowed to make these decisions, right, it should be something that the government, and I mean the federal government, has oversight over. Like, because without that, you are talking about, at the end of the day, the government gonna pay for it. The government will pay for it. When people are having mental problems because they're introduced to DNA in their bodies that don't belong there, who paying for it? Especially for poor people. Who paying for it? This is what I'm saying. This is why I'm not totally against the government having autonomy over certain aspects of society, because it needs that. Because you got crazy people like this and this man with the bald head talking like that just because he can.
Yeah, and we have
the part about when you were saying creating their own light, before we get too far off for that. Yeah, that's what the sea creatures, sea life in the depths of the ocean do. Because no sun penetrates to but a certain depth, they create their own bioluminescence.
Mm-hmm.
So scorpions even actually have the same. I don't know how it is, but scorpions can glow bright blue, like neon blue or green. They create their own bioluminescence as well. So, yeah, go ahead. I digress. My mic is muted. Rock out.
But no, you're right. But see, the thing is, I'm saying that the genetics that go along with beings that spend most of their time in the dark is very different from the genetics of beings that need the light, that live in the light. When you start mixing them, it's not just that one trait that you're mixing. So you say, for instance, like spider DNA, right? Let's suppose we want a dog that has the same, let's say, coat color as a spider, right? You're not just mixing the coat color. You're mixing other parts of DNA with that animal. And the thing is, what use do you have for a dog that has inclinations like a spider? What use do you have for a dog like that? You don't. You just playing.
I mean, I think it'd be pretty cool to watch my dog piss webs, but I mean, that's just Smitty. Anyway, rock out.
But Smitty, we're gonna be food. We're gonna be food to your dog.
That's what I'm saying. We're gonna be literally food to him. And this is what I'm saying. We create now. And this goes back to what I was saying, Smitty. We are creating our own problem with our existence here, because we literally are creating our problems. Like, we don't need animals that's going to hunt us that isn't here. The woolly mammoth is not going to hunt us. But if you want to bring back the saber-toothed tiger, now we got a different problem. Okay? So I'm just saying, okay, like, we are our worst enemy on this planet. This is why I know that there's more to us than what meets the eye in terms of nature. Because there's a part of nature that allows for non-nature to exist. I don't know how that is, but that exists. Otherwise, it wouldn't happen. So this is what I'm saying. Like, as far as like human beings are concerned. Yeah, Mr. Best, your man.
Well, can I give an example of what you're saying? Can I show the example of what you're saying? There's two animals that's doing this right now, currently right now, right? Mm-hmm. One, well, we're not even talking about it, right? We're not talking about the coyotes that's rapidly growing. That's now, since people took away their small animals and put them indoors, now the coyotes is going after toddlers. Because we ain't kill off coyotes. Now coyotes everywhere, they're going after your kids and they're coming out to eat your kids. That's one. And then two, we're not even talking about the wild boars.
Oh, wait, Stan. Do we have to kill off the coyotes?
Yes.
Or maybe should people stop moving and living in certain areas? Like, motherfuckers refuse to move out of places, I don't know, that's named Hurricane or Tornado Valley. They would rather go buy shit to put metal stuff up along the walls instead of just moving. People would rather get mudslide insurance instead of just not buying a fucking house where you might have a mudslide.
Right.
So, I mean, when I'm saying that, as far as like, I do notice a lot of times, like, I'm gonna be real with you, certain parts of Florida, nothing personal, Why the fuck are you there with the gators? Why is it a chance a gator can eat your toy terrier?
They didn't hunt them down. That's what happened.
I think we need to stop building houses certain places. It's more than enough space, is my point. How about not just certain areas like, nah, you know what? Just make it something they call forest reservation. Don't live there.
They can't. You know why, Smitty?
Because white folks just need danger. Rock out.